Welcome to Passages, the podcast where life gets deep, friendship gets real, and the wisdom of the Bible flows. Usually right after a debate about tacos and Bigfoot. Join Patrick Birch, Drew Kaiser, Jason Pulliam, and Tim Layton as they explore Scripture, share great quotes, and occasionally get sidetracked by snacks and bad preachers.
Welcome. You're listening to Passages. We're glad that you joined us tonight. The gang's all here. We're excited about doing the podcast tonight. We've had a great speaker, John McMath, who you heard at the top of the show there with a brand new intro. We're thankful to John and his golden vocal cords for helping us out, free of charge even. And I don't know if anybody noticed, the intro changed a little bit. I think it's kind of funny.
And the guy is a one-take wonder.
He is. He came in here, sat down like a pro. He is a pro.
After speaking for 40 minutes, 40 minutes, he's tired. And then he just sits down and just hammers out.
Took a call from his wife, sat down, nailed it.
Yeah.
That's a pro.
That's right.
Right there.
Absolutely.
So we're thankful to him. And I'm rambling.
It's too early in the show for that.
Let's just go ahead and start with this.
Oh, no.
Guys, the Twilight Zone. We've entered it.
Love it.
A few days ago, in Australia, there was a
Crikey!
a carjacked SUV that wrecked on, get this, Steve Irwin Way.
Crikey!
Oh, man. That guy's... He's a hero over there, Steve Irwin.
Well, in this case, he stopped a crime.
He did. And so there were some witnesses, 2 to be exact. Twin sisters Bridget and Paula Powers have told how their mother and a man raced to help when a carjacked SUV rolled on Steve Irwin Way on the Sunshine Coast, only to find the gun-wielding car thief emerging from the wreck.
Who's seen the video? I've seen this video. Did you see it?
It's good.
I'm not aware.
I'm glad to know that the Shining twins ended up okay.
It is.
Because this is where they ended up.
This is creepy.
Yeah.
So we're going to play a little clip of this.
All right.
Well, we were in cleaning our birds and we heard this big bang. We said, oh no, another car accident. So we drop everything and we went running out the front. We seen Mum running out from the house up there.
Your radio is not playing tricks on you, Tim.
It's 2 people.
And checking to see
2 individuals.
if the person was okay.
Who were dressed
And one guy was up there with our mum. And he went up there.
They're wearing
and
the
he was
same
coming
thing.
Back down towards us, and he goes, "Run! He's got a gun!" and our heart started to pound. And I said, "Oh, Mum, where's Mum?" And poor Mum was stuck up there. But apparently, our brave Mum, she goes, "Are you all right?" Because he had all blood all over his face, and he goes, "I'll shoot you." She goes, "Hey, I'm here to help."
And Mum distracted him to make him look the other way, and he looked the other way, and Mum ran
into the bush behind the fence. And the guy goes...
This goes on for a good 3 minutes, just like that.
I think my favorite part of this is, run, he's got a gun.
Yes, it rhymed even.
It does.
They practiced that one.
They either got their stories incredibly straight.
No, I think this is how they do everything in life.
Telepathy going on, because they're not looking at each other.
No, this is an interview.
They're looking at the reporter.
On a TV station.
Yeah.
I've had conversations with people like that where they're trying to get me to finish my sentence. They try to finish my sentence for me so they can talk. So I'll quit talking and they talk.
This sounds
Why are you looking at me when you say that, Drew?
I was not looking at you.
Have y'all seen the skit on Saturday Night Live? There's the couple.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds
Fred
just
Armisen
like them, right?
and Kristen Wiig.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Garth and Kat.
Yeah, there it is.
That's it.
I think that's right. Yeah.
That's exactly immediately what came to mind.
That is creepy. And if listeners, we don't have a video podcast yet. But I'm going to say this. It is worth the 3 minutes to get on and watch I cannot imagine if they both came into the exam room for an eye exam trying to do an eye exam on them.
Oh,
Just having them both talking at the exact same time in unison.
you'd have to send one of them to the waiting room.
Oh, there's no doubt. Reception
Okay,
area.
read
Man,
the-
why are you being so negative?
Read the
I
first
just
line.
forgot. I forgot.
BBLLMM.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as
One
they
of them
both
is
have
cheating.
the same eyesight, they could see the same letters.
Well, they have the same look, hairstyle, clothing, voice.
I wonder what the name of that dysfunction is.
Weird.
Is that in the diagnostic manual somewhere?
Oh,
There's gotta be a name for that.
Is it the DSM-5? In that
There's got to be something in there because you have to lack a degree of self-awareness to do that and to do it on television. It's not like they didn't know they were being
And it wasn't like it was
recorded.
just a quick little shtick they were doing. This was 3 minutes of an interview, and every word is said.
There is an actual term for this. I'm going to get it wrong, but I will try. Idioglossia
I like it. I think.
or glossia, idioglossia,
okay.
Yeah.
or
Glossia,
Deals with the mouth and
yeah,
the tongue.
or the
idio means they don't know why, right? In medical terms, idio is they
Yeah.
put that in front of a disorder that they don't have an explanation for.
Yeah.
or it is also known as cryptophagia.
Crypto means they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Phasia has to do with
Speech issues.
speech.
Yeah. It is awkward
So
to watch. It's
basically-
worth watching the video.
It's been recorded, but they don't understand it.
I would love to have seen them cut back to the news anchor at the desk after the interview, because if she didn't know what was coming, she would have had this look like,
Just deer in the headlights
well,
when they
so
return
folks,
to.
that just happened.
Back to you, Victoria.
And she just goes, crikey.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's very weird. And
Very
and to
weird.
see it in video is even weirder
Oh,
because either it's a really good fake, which I don't think it is,
No.
or it's real and it's very uncanny to watch.
Well, you can see it and hear it in stereo,
Yes.
essentially. And it's the strangest
Wait,
thing.
what is stereo but four, I guess.
You're the tech guy. I don't know.
Why were they talking funny?
Well, you know,
They come from a land down under.
I just noticed they kept talking funny.
it probably something to do with eating blooming onions. That's probably what did it.
And Vegemite sandwiches.
Yeah, that's probably the problem.
All I know about Australia came from men at work. That's all I got.
Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, they probably have a wallaby.
That's not a knife.
Yeah. So while we're in the international world, I want to bring up a little climate change news. I don't know how much y'all are up on climate change. And there's a lot of debate over whether climate change is real, fake, or if we just call it seasons. I don't know. I call it seasons.
You know who is not a climate change believer?
Who's that?
Your favorite person, James Spann.
Yeah.
Well,
We've covered criticism of Span
that is true because
on
he
an
said
early episode.
and he may be right on this one. He's still a fearmonger, though. He still scares us all to death.
Stop that.
So
Jason.
the
The views
UK
of Jason
Came
do
really
not
close to
reflect-
getting his mic muted.
the UK is going to save us, guys. They are coming up with a plan to fight global warming, even though the trend over the last few years has been a little cooling. But you know, climate change, it can go up, it can go down.
Right.
But the experiment, let me just read the article title. This comes off the Daily Mail, so it's genuine. UK experiments to dim the sun
Oh no.
in bid to curb global warming will be approved by the UK government within weeks.
No.
There's nothing quite like going for a walk on a bright spring day, but basking in the sunshine could soon be a thing of the past. That's because it has emerged that experts are planning on dimming the sun in a bid to curb global warming. Experiments to reflect sunlight away from the earth will be given the green light by the government within weeks, the Telegraph reports. Outdoor trials could include injecting aerosols into the atmosphere or brightening clouds to reflect sunshine.
Aerosols have never caused damage
Of
to
course
the atmosphere.
Tim, you and I are older. What did we hear growing up? There was a hole in the ozone layer.
That's right.
Oh, I'm not even as old as y'all, and I heard that.
Don't spray anything.
caused by all those cans of Aquanet back in the 70s.
Is the rest of the earth just going to let them do this?
Okay, here's my
I mean,
question.
this is not just them when they're dimming the sun.
All right, picture in your mind with me, we're in high school, and in the corner of the history class is a globe. You know, it spins. All right. That's what it sounds like when it spins, Patrick. You didn't have a globe. You had internet. All right. So you look at the globe and you spin it and you find the UK. There it is. And you put your finger over the UK. Well, your finger pretty much covers the UK, and then the rest of the globe is uncovered. How is dimming the sun in the UK going to affect global warming?
Can we also just say they're not dimming the sun?
No, they're blocking sunlight.
They're blocking the sun. Let's at least be precise enough in our language.
Well, Patrick, it's an emergency because the core temperature of the planet has gone up 1.2 degrees Celsius over the last 100 years. Patrick.
Right.
Polar ice caps are melting.
They're melting.
And isn't the sun...
And that is far more dangerous than dimming the sun or blocking the sun with aerosol.
I saw a polar bear the other day in a swimsuit, Patrick. He was at the beach hanging out on the sand.
What used to be the polar ice caps.
It was.
Yeah.
Because of this global warming.
Used to be.
But now we're going to... How many horrible movies, sci-fi movies, have started with... let's do something to the atmosphere to combat global warming, and then catastrophe happens. What if you dim it too much?
Jason, did you get how far down the article did you get?
Well, at the office, I read the whole thing, and here it's not worth because this is almost a grind in my gears.
I really like the section where they say, how do we know this could work? Well, there are a couple of very strong pieces of evidence.
What are they, Patrick?
Ship emissions from the smokestack into the marine environment lead to bright lines in clouds over the ocean. That doesn't even make sense.
Okay.
Then there was a volcanic eruption in Iceland in 2014, which spilled out a lot of sulfur dioxide. What this does is it brightens clouds and cools the planet. What we need to do is some form of field experiments. So
again, how do you do a field experiment with something over a tiny little area?
Jason, you put a bomb in a volcano.
Okay. That sounds like
problem
the
solved.
Start to a really bad movie.
Problem solved.
What's this going to do to our agriculture? I mean, our crops kind of need sun.
How am I going to get my summer tan?
They don't need as much sun as they're currently getting, maybe.
Well,
I think they need it.
Isn't the sun always dim in the UK? I mean, is it cloudy and rainy there?
That's what all the movies say.
Right?
Well, and as long as China is not on board.
Why did you say it?
Because that's how
good Trump.
That's how Trump says it. China. As long as they're not contributing to it, then it's a problem.
But if they do this, think about the unlimited amounts of a favorite Chinese dish, dim sum.
What?
Oh, Tim's going to make himself take off his glasses tonight. That was
not
pretty
even
good.
10 o'clock yet.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Guys, what happens if they get this wrong and we go to a dark planet? How do we solve that problem?
Yeah,
How do you suck the stuff out of the
I don't
atmosphere if we
understand
go
why
too
the
far?
international community is allowing this to happen.
Because they're lost their minds.
Right.
They're all on board.
It will either be, massive failure, no effect, or tragic mistake.
Yes.
Come on.
Hey guys,
alone.
I'm all for it being a little cooler. I'm not going to lie. We're about to get into that part of the year where I loathe being outside because it's so hot. And power company loves me this time of the year. But I don't know that I want to risk extinction over an experiment. And, God put the sun in place and the earth a specific distance away from it.
Yep.
Perfectly.
On purpose.
Not dim.
No.
Not dim.
And I will say, I'm
block the sun.
I'm a little excited about this summer because I've got two vents in my.
You're not going to know what to do with both vents being
they're
open.
both open for the first time ever. So
it's going to be great.
I'd like to see.
Well, worst case scenario, you end up in that cement pond out back when it's really hot.
That's right.
There is a movie on Netflix this makes me think of, but it's about asteroids. But I think it's called Don't Look Up. It's got some big names in it, and it's basically some scientists see an asteroid coming and they try to warn the world, and the world's just like, it's not, that's not real. Asteroids aren't real. Basically, the very
It's like the
end.
moon landing.
It's a thinly veiled political statement.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I like this idea. And I don't know that I like
hate it.
the Brits doing this. They don't seem like they're on the forefront of very many like great ideas.
Well, do y'all want to talk about some good news?
Lay it on
I guess.
Yeah, we need some good news after that.
We need
Today is a very special anniversary. It's
Congratulations, Drew.
Oh, wait. It's not
sorry.
my anniversary.
Oh, sorry.
It's the 20-year anniversary of the first video uploaded to YouTube, April 23rd, 2005. The video Me at the Zoo was uploaded by co-founder Jawed Karim. Hit it, Patrick. Let's hear what it sounded like.
All right, so here we are in front of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really, really long trunks, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
I probably should have watched that before having
I got
Patrick
nervous
play.
there for a minute. I'm not going to lie.
So that is, of course, very popular video. I think it's had over 300 million downloads, something like that. First video, it's like 19 seconds, 20 years ago. And think about how influential YouTube has become and how prevalent it is. I mean, everybody uses it. I got a few stats here. It was founded in February 2005 by that guy and a couple others. The first video, Me at the Zoo, was uploaded April 23rd, 2005 at the San Diego Zoo. By 2006, YouTube was already hosting 100 million videos and was acquired by Google for $1.65 billion. I didn't realize Google got into that quickly. That surprised me that a year in, Google saw the potential and bought them out. Over 500 hours of content are uploaded every minute.
Wow.
And the platform boasts more than 2.7 billion monthly active users. It's available in over 100 countries, supports 80 languages. It birthed the creator economy, launching careers for stars like Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, and T-Series. I only recognize one of those three.
I've never heard of any of them.
Which became the most subscribed channel with over 250 million subscribers.
Jason, you haven't gone to the store and bought the Mr. Beast Lunchable?
No.
I think
have no
more
clue what it
people
is.
are watching YouTube on their TVs than network television now, or cable television.
Mhm.
And and I was surprised to learn not long ago that the biggest streaming platform for podcasts is YouTube, not iTunes or Apple, not Spotify, but people are watching on YouTube, which has led us to some discussions about how to get passages on YouTube. It's going to take some technical doing and a little investment, but we'll get there one day, maybe.
Passengers, I do ask you, if you think that's a good idea, talk to us about it.
We're looking for investors. And by investors, we mean people who just give us money without expecting anything in return.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's not a whole
your
lot.
money will not turn into more money.
We also would like people that just have ideas.
Softer benefits,
Yeah.
like your enjoyment of our.
We continue.
I mean,
Yes.
granted, we have 4 faces made for radio, but
Right.
I think we could pull off YouTube.
Would somebody want to invest in seeing these mugs?
You know, it's funny. I was listening to a podcast this morning on my way to work, and they were talking about something that I wanted to see. And as soon as I got to work, I got to YouTube and I pulled up their stream of their podcast so that I could watch that segment. And I was like, this is crazy that I can listen to it I was listening to it on Spotify, and I get to work and I pull it up on YouTube and I can watch. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So do you guys have any YouTube programs or your kids that you enjoy? There's a lot of good quality stuff on there.
There's one that I watched super randomly. It's very relaxing. It's called Sitting with Dogs. Y'all heard
Is
of
it
this?
exactly what
Is
the
it
title
is
says
it filmed at
is?
my house? Because
No.
I feel like I do a lot of that.
It is a guy named Rocky. He's got a
Please say Balboa.
Rocky Kanaka,
Nailed it.
maybe. And he works or volunteers at a dog shelter somewhere out west. And dogs come in really scared, and he sits in their kennel with them and gets them to trust him so they'll open up and be adoptable. It's really relaxing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have way too many things that me and the boys follow on here.
I watch a lot of the outdoors stuff. And when I was recovering from surgery, somebody told me about this show called The Outdoor Boys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this family from Alaska that likes to go camping. And the other night I turned on their trip to Australia, running theme in tonight's episode.
Did they?
And it was
meet
like
the
an
twins?
hour and 40 minutes. And I was doing other things, which is one of the things I think people like about YouTube is you can put something on in the background. I was doing other things, but every time I looked up, they were doing something interesting or eating something interesting. And at the end, I was like, has it really been an hour and 40 minutes? It was a good program. He does a lot of cooking outdoors and stuff like that. And there are other programs that I tune into every once in a while. Not much. Tim, you got anything?
I listened to Bill O'Reilly some on YouTube.
Oh, I can't believe
Does
you
he have
said
like
that over the airwaves.
He probably has a nice setup.
He does
and
have a
everything,
nice setup.
just like on cable.
Yeah, and so he does, some shorter snippets or whatever. Right? It's not like a full hour show or anything, but there's it may be 15, 20 minutes on a particular topic or whatever. So it's
Well, he's like 146 years old. So
there's been some interesting. So apparently he has a fairly close relationship of late with Donald Trump. And so I think on one of these weeks we've talked, he was asked maybe right after the election to come down to Mar-a-Lago, and he was in a meeting with some of the advisors or whatever, and Trump just invited him in to sort of ask what he thought. And he's invited him recently to the White House for a similar situation. And so when he talks about that, it gives you some visibility,
firsthand experience.
Allowed his son to come with him. That was pretty cool. And so anyhow,
Well, mine are not nearly as educational. Mine are more for entertainment. My favorite one that I probably spend the most time on, I've got a few that I go back and forth to. But one of my favorites is the slow-mo guys. If you've never watched it, they do crazy things and film it in really slow. I mean, I was going to say high-speed slow motion, but that doesn't make sense. But essentially, that's what it is. The shutter rate is so fast, or the film rate or whatever.
Frames per second.
Yeah. But for instance, like they show, like here is a paintball collision at 82,000 frames per second. Here's, what is this? A supersonic golf ball to the forehead at 82,000 frames per second. I mean, they just have these crazy videos.
Like a dummy forehead?
Yes,
or did
it's not
somebody
a real
die
person.
for this
No,
video?
no, it's one of the.
I'll do it.
It's one of the ballistic dummies, the ballistic gel dummies. If you watch any of the firearm shows on here, you'll see the ballistic dummies and stuff like that. And it's just interesting to watch them. And it's just cool. Like here's an apple being, I think this is an apple being split in two at really at 65,000 frames per minute. So it's just really, I don't know. It's just fun to watch.
I think I've run across that
It's
before.
a really good time waster. They watch like a guy getting his face slapped and watching like the bleh. That's what it sounds like. But
it's been a few years. Is Dude Perfect still around on YouTube?
Yeah.
I mean,
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They're raking it in.
Yeah.
I looked up the top YouTube channels one time, and they were on it. They were like in the top 25. But there were so many on there I'd never heard of, and I would never even want to check out because there's a lot of content for people in other countries that's in foreign languages because we're not the biggest country in the world.
Right.
You got India and China with
Only the
people
coolest, Drew. Only the coolest.
We're the coolest. But also, a lot of YouTube space is taken up by kids. And there's a lot of kids programs that are very popular on YouTube. And I get it because when I was raising my kids pre-YouTube, well, actually, according to this, I don't have a 20-year-old.
During the YouTube.
But in the rise of YouTube, we would buy DVDs left and right to keep them occupied. We didn't really rely on what was on network TV because, what we wanted to see wasn't on when we needed to see it. And now YouTube's kind of taking the place of DVDs and stuff like that.
Drew, can I crush your spirit a little bit?
Sure.
You do have a 20-year-old.
Not yet.
Almost. Just a couple of months. You're getting old, Drew.
All right.
I'm not worried about me getting old. I don't want her to get old.
All right. It's time for Yay Sports.
Shoot, I wasn't ready.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, man.
The team, go Sports!
All right, can you just explain what's going on here?
Hi, thank you. I have no idea.
No idea.
Yes,
No
that's so perfect. Love it.
So tomorrow night is the NFL draft, and so in what might seem like a pretty dry thing to talk about, I want to give people something to look for tomorrow night in the NFL draft. I've got two things, and this is not just like rando. Who are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to choose? Which is obviously what Nathan will be focused on tomorrow night. Our buddy Nathan, Steelers super fan.
You should never say rando.
Rando, don't say that.
You should say random.
Okay.
You're too old for rando.
So here's the first one. I want you to all watch to see where Shedeur Sanders is drafted tomorrow night. So, of course, if you don't know about Shedeur, that's Deion Sanders' son. He was a quarterback at Colorado. And there are some vastly different opinions about how he will succeed in the National Football League. When Shedeur goes to the NFL, many people on this podcast are probably familiar with the term daddy ball.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
So there's really never been so unique a case of daddy ball as there has been for Shedeur Sanders. When Shedeur was in high school, the offensive coordinator of his team, Trinity Christian High School in Texas, Deion Sanders.
Daddy.
I didn't know that.
When Shedeur graduated from high school, he went to Jackson State University, and they had just hired a new head coach. His name was Deion Sanders. And after 2 years at Jackson State, Shedeur made a decision to transfer to the University of Colorado, where his coach was Deion Sanders.
We're like the twins.
Daddy.
Right. And so he's really never played for anybody but Daddy.
So is Dad going to the NFL?
Dad's not going to the NFL by all accounts. Everybody has a coach at this point in time. It doesn't appear that he's going. There was some talk for a little while that maybe he would go to the Cowboys. And, Deion may be an NFL head coach someday. But there's been all of this. The NFL drafts are a very interesting thing when it comes to, in particular, to anonymous quotes from NFL team executives, because many times there will be people who may tell a source, some really juicy information about a player, and sometimes they may tell them misinformation because they want that player to drop to when they're picking in the draft. So there's a lot of very interesting stuff that goes on around NFL executives. So apparently Shedeur has had some less than positive interviews with NFL teams. May come as a shock, coming off as very entitled, somewhat of a brat. Everything's going to go my way. Maybe some of the things that might align with he's never really had it real before, right? I mean, and so this is all not to say that he may be very successful and very good. And a lot of people rate him as the second best quarterback coming out in this draft. And he had a nice career at Colorado. But will he really be the second quarterback off the chart tomorrow? Number one's supposed to be Cam Ward. He's sort of locked into the number one pick. And then everybody else is really sort of up in the air. And so, he may go top 5. He may go in the second round. It's just all over the place. And so the whole question is, when these anonymous sources come to people like Yahoo Sports and ESPN and The Athletic and all these different sources of sports information, are they really just playing those people and giving them, telling them something that they really don't believe? Or are they really telling them the real thing? That I had one, if I've still got it here. This was an NFL assistant coach on Shedeur Sanders. The worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. Of course, that means like getting the ball out on time, the kinds of things that are much more difficult in the NFL than they are in college. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is he's not that good. Well, not a lot of good things said there.
That was a long way to say those last couple of words there.
I put that together from your previous 16 statements about him. That all equaled up to he's not that good.
But when you put all that together, the question is that guy blowing smoke? And is he picking at 15 tomorrow night? And what he would love more than anything else is for Shedeur Sanders to come down to 15. And he gets somebody who maybe is a top 5 talent, but he gets him with his draft pick. He doesn't have to try to trade up in the draft.
So it's a Brer Rabbit kind of thing?
Absolutely.
No, whatever you do, don't throw me in that briar patch.
Exactly.
Hey,
Exactly.
You can't talk about Brer Rabbit.
Why not?
Man, he's been canceled.
Oh,
Drew, way to bring
Not
us
on
down.
passages.
So, where is he predict? I looked it up from NFL Nation on ESPN where he's predicted. Is it, what have you seen?
I've seen a lot of varying things. I think he will go in the first round, but I've seen, 3 or 5 or 8 or to the Steelers at like 15.
21 at the Steelers is what this one has.
Right.
So that affects some of our friends here.
Yes, it does.
Good luck if he lands at the Steelers. That's what y'all need, is another young quarterback that can play.
Here's the other one, who may also impact the Steelers. And if it does, we will hear Nathan scream bloody murder from over at his house.
Out of excitement or anger?
Anger.
Okay, cool.
So the other person I want you to watch closely for tomorrow night is Jalen Milroe. Jalen was the quarterback at Alabama this past year. And Jalen did a lot of good things at Alabama, had some amazing games, won some really big stuff, And so Jalen, he had a good career at Alabama. It didn't end great. And he had some deficiencies. He had a problem sort of throwing the intermediate pass. So was reading some stuff about him, and these NFL executives say, when it comes to just like some of the measurables, like the speed, and it looks like he's chiseled out of stone, and he's an amazing athlete, but he has problems like completing the intermediate pass, which would be pretty simple to a lot of quarterbacks. He can throw the bomb pretty well. He completed a lot of long passes in Alabama, but then people started figuring out sort of how to defend him. And like I said, his last few games, he had a really great game, an amazing game at LSU this past year, but he was erratic. And so there's a lot of differing opinions about him. And I read something today that said, if he had come back to Alabama this year, they were very concerned that pretty much all of the skill players on offense were going to transfer. So this is a guy that they're talking about going in the first round of the NFL draft.
No,
and so
can't be
these varying, he's another, I've never seen 2 more, two guys that have more polarizing opinions about whether they're going to make it or not. Should an early pick be used on them? So just if you even don't watch it, but you flip over to ESPN and look at the crawl to see where somebody gets drafted, keep your eye out for when Shedeur Sanders and Jalen Milroe get picked. It's going to be interesting whether it's early or late. There. That's the other thing. And I don't think Shedeur's going to the draft, but the last thing I'll say about this is Jalen's been invited to the draft, and this is rolling the dice. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the draft that Aaron Rodgers was in, but Aaron Rodgers got invited to the draft, right? And so when you get invited to the draft, there's an assumption that on night one, you're going to be picked, and it's going to be pretty early. So there are these videos all night. So here's Aaron Rodgers at this table with 3 or 4 or 5 people, and there's tables all around, and those tables start emptying out because those people they're getting picked. And for whatever reason, Aaron Rodgers is just dropping through the first round, and then he's basically like in the room by himself. And it's ugly.
It was bad.
I fear that may happen to Jalen Milroe because he's been invited. He's accepted the invitation. It's in Green Bay, and there'll be all the hoopla and everything, and there'll be cameras everywhere, especially on these guys that are invited to get drafted. And I'm afraid that he may end up sitting there by himself.
I just went through 5 or 6 mock drafts, and I did not see Jalen Milroe in the top first round in any.
Now, Jalen is one that I've seen at like 15 and 68, in terms of like, he's just all over the board. So, all right. So that's it. Check out the draft tomorrow night.
Most of them did have Shedeur going to Pittsburgh at number 21. That's going to be really funny.
Tim, I'm just super bad at the soundboard stuff, so I'm going to play this just in honor of your segment that we just did.
All right. The pick is in. You'll hear, if you happen to flip it over to listen tomorrow night, you'll hear that sound hundreds of times. So, well, maybe not hundreds of times, because I think they only pick the first round tomorrow night. So.
With the 21st pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers take
Jalen Milroe, University of
Alabama. All right, well, let's take a break. We don't have a bad preacher segment coming up, but Patrick's got something special for us that we're looking forward to.
We can't wait.
Hang on till the other side of the break, and you'll see what that's all about.
Welcome back, passengers. As Drew said earlier, we don't have a bad preacher tonight, but we do have something special. So you guys, have y'all heard of ChatGPT?
I was on it way too much today. I went down a rabbit hole, I'm afraid.
So the hot thing right now is to upload a picture to ChatGPT and ask it to roast you. So passengers, we have uploaded a picture of us to ChatGPT, and we've asked it to roast us. And I am about to read it to you if I can keep it together. I have not read the whole thing yet.
You're not going to tell us who it is that it's roasting.
I think it'll be pretty clear.
All right.
Oh, no.
I think it'll be pretty clear.
All right.
All right, here we go. Light roast coming in hot.
Okay.
I'm reading now. That's what it says.
All right.
This looks less like a podcast recording and more like a PTA meeting.
Oh, no. Wow. That's a great opening line.
That hurts.
Where everyone just discovered how to use the record button.
Oh, no. Is this a light roast?
We've got 4 guys, 2 laptops, a Rodecaster Pro, and exactly 0 hope of staying on topic. It actually knows that.
How does it know that? It's perfect.
That is pretty interesting. It did get the 2 laptops wrong, but just saying.
So ChatGPT is not
Can't even
always
count
right.
laptops.
Can't even count laptops. The guy in red, 100% that kid in school who reminded the teacher they forgot to assign homework.
Patrick's in red.
now grown up, and somehow the one in charge of pressing record.
There you have it.
Is there any truth to that, Patrick?
No, no, absolutely not. This thing is oddly accurate. I am the one in charge of pressing record.
You are.
The man in the navy shirt
It's me.
has serious. I prepared for this podcast like it was a TED Talk energy.
It's the shirt. We're going after the shirt.
But
It's a good shirt.
Thanks, Dad.
I don't know that I can
shirt.
say this about Drew, but he's one Bluetooth headset away from starting a pyramid scheme pitch.
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Middle guy with the headphones. That's Tim.
Okay, here we go. Oh no!
Looks like he's been holding.
Oh no.
Looks like he's been holding in a sarcastic comment for about 20 minutes.
Hey, you do kind of look like that sometimes.
You always look like
got
you know
something to say,
something.
but-
Like you know something we don't know.
That's pretty good.
Tim, I'm really sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
Judging by that smirk, he's either silently judging everyone or calculating how long until lunch.
Oh wow! Did it catch that there was a plate of cobbler back here in the corner behind us?
That's a giveaway.
Yeah.
Thanks, Millie, for the cobbler.
Oh, it was excellent.
It does have the snacks, the other snacks sitting in front of him though.
Well, that was good. Thanks, guys.
Oh no, we're not done.
And then
Oh boy,
there's the dude leaning in from the right.
that's
That's Jason.
Yeah.
Glasses halfway down his nose.
I know my readers.
Like he just caught you texting in class.
Oh no.
His whole vibe screams, I don't know what a podcast is, but I brought snacks.
That's pretty fitting.
It picked up on a lot of the props around this
the
that I didn't
nuances.
think about.
Yeah.
There's a bonus, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Oh no.
That Burden's poster in the background
Oh no.
Oh,
poster.
man.
is probably how they all felt 5 minutes into recording.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Hey, going after my book.
That's a light. That's a light roast.
It is asking want to roast harder or want to keep it
That's
friendly.
at
Hang
least-
on, Patrick. Hang on.
That's at
Burden's
least something.
available at riddlecreekpublishing.com or Amazon.
Yes, and it's a good book.
And you have to, now you need to see the cover of the book to understand
Yeah.
what it meant.
Yeah. You people are going to be in suspense until you go to Amazon or riddlecreekpublishing.com.
Exactly.
That's it.
Now available in hardback and
I
paperback.
say take the next leap. I mean, how much worse can it get?
And Kindle. You can get it in Kindle. It's 10,
Out of the-
10 stories.
I did ask for it to go harder,
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
and it said, "Oh, you asked for it.
Oh, no.
Time to turn up the heat. Full
I'm
roast,
already sweating.
full roast mode."
It's going to
engaged.
start with the guy in the red shirt again, or are we going to go around the
I
table?
might need to pre-read this. Hold on a second.
No, don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
This
We can
isn't
cut stuff out later.
this isn't a podcast studio. It's a hostage situation
Okay.
where the ransom is attention.
Ouch.
I don't know what you're recording, but judging by the vibes, it's either a conspiracy theory about printer ink or an in-depth breakdown of local dad jokes.
Oh, wow. That is crazy.
I didn't even have on my tinfoil hat.
This thing is definitely listening to
Do our
Burns.
wives work for ChatGPT?
Whoa.
Guy in red, front left.
I'm glad Patrick's the one reading this.
So uncomfortable.
Bro looks like he's live streaming his Minecraft world
Oh, there's more.
while trying to hold in a fart. That smirk says, "I edited out all the good parts of this episode and I'm proud of it.
How does it even know you're? I guess because you're in front of the computer.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Middle guy with the headphones. So back to Tim. That's not a podcast host. That's the regional manager of a Best Buy.
Did you ever work for a Best Buy, Tim?
I worked at the electronics department at Walmart.
Nice.
That's the regional manager of a Best Buy who got tricked into showing up. He's gripping that script like it's the last piece of dignity he has left. And what's with the snacks? You're on air, not on break at a call center. Don't die. Don't die, Jason.
I'm sweating.
Oh, no. The bearded guy leaning in.
Oh, no. Oh, me.
Oh, gosh.
Who is that? Me or
That is Jason.
That's not going to
Jason's
be
doing the
good.
lean in.
I think that is Jason. the
I've
one
seen
leaning
his
in.
face turn that color before. It's not going to be good.
Sir, either sit down or start the sermon.
But it's not, every now and again it swings and misses.
Because you're giving off serious youth pastor who tries too hard to be relatable energy. Oh no. I'm 90% sure he called the mic a talking stick earlier. Oh, that one doesn't land with me. And the guy in the Navy's shirt back there, he's either the most confused guest in podcast history or the designated driver for his midlife crisis.
designate? Hey, I like it.
With that look, he's just now realizing he could have said no.
The designated driver for his midlife crisis. That is good. You're writing that down, right, Tim?
I am.
I want to thank Andy Kaiser for that shirt.
Plus,
Yeah.
that Burdens poster in the back is still
yeah.
picking on the Burdens poster.
Man.
Fitting. That's the collective weight of every listener trying to survive this audio train wreck.
Wow.
Oh,
Man.
oh no.
There's one more line.
Oh no.
This whole scene looks like a tech support meeting that turned into a book club no one asked for.
No.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
Oh,
good.
man.
That's
Go
good humor.
spicier. Just kidding. We can't do this all night.
So now we want to open this up to the passengers, right? If you want to be roasted on passages, send us a picture.
Now we won't be roasting you, but wow, ChatGPT will.
Yeah.
I asked it to go spicier.
You did?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, man.
Somehow it just knows who we are. This is, I'll let y'all read this off air. but
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now, oh no.
Y'all really fired up $1,000 mics just to sound like you're arguing over whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
I think we've had that discussion in here before.
That sounds like our content.
Yeah, it's
sure.
obviously listened to all our podcasts.
Funny, not funny.
It thinks I edit Wikipedia pages for fun. I do not. I do
Okay.
not.
Have you ever?
Yet.
Have you
I have
ever
never
edited?
edited a Wikipedia
Yet.
page. Yet. I guess I have to now.
Wow.
That was a pretty good break from
Oh, that's
Bad
good.
It's
Preachers.
still really picking on your Burdens poster, though. I don't like that.
I don't like that either
Hey.
because that's a cool book cover.
Any
Amazon.com,
exposure
Riddle Creek
is good exposure.
Publishing.com.
Yep.
That's
you can get
right.
it on Kindle. You can get it in
I heard
hardback
that. I heard that one time.
and paperback.
That's right.
So all
3
passengers
formats.
must go look at the poster, and then
You're
while
not
you're
thinking-
there,
Yeah.
click buy.
The poster is
Yeah.
the book cover. Go look at the book cover so you can understand the joke.
Yep.
And then while you're there, I would search just books by Drew Kaiser, and
Why not?
I would pick
Just buy a
up.
few.
Why not?
There's multiple out there, and they're all good.
Sufficient Grace, his newest one. Excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Is it Out of the Thicket coming soon?
Coming in October.
Can't wait. Great book.
First novel in
I've
October.
seen the cover art. It's beautiful. I don't want ChatGPT to see it.
Yeah.
That would be scary.
Yeah. Well, thanks for we always
I haven't laughed
bring
that
it
hard
back
in a while.
to a
We've been
Drew's
roasted.
book plug in, but that's what we're here for.
I mean-
yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
change of pace. And maybe some of our passengers will send in pictures for us to roast, or for ChatGPT to roast, and we laugh.
And if you don't, we'll just go on the church photo album and we'll just roast you anyway.
Pick on you anyway.
All right,
I'm
we'll
kidding.
be back.
We won't do that.
We'll be back with tonight's passages. Passage. Just one passage.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. It is time for our passage this evening. And this passage came from one of our good friends, a passenger, Richard Box. Thanks for the contribution tonight, Richard. And this is a quote from Jack London. And it goes like this: "The proper function of man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days in trying to prolong them. I shall use my time." Give it to you one more time. The proper function of man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days in trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. So Jack London, give me something about him.
Wrote a number of important books: Call of the Wild, White Fang, short story To Build a Fire. He spent a lot of time doing dangerous things, which goes along with what his statement. I know he lived in the Yukon for some time. I don't remember what it was that he was doing in the Yukon, maybe just exploring. He worked, man, I really should have done some more research on this. He worked around seaports or something, doing things. And of course, was writing all the time.
Right. Or probably absorbing all the things around him for those types of books. That he
was. I thought about saving this for the end and doing a Paul Harvey rest of the story kind of thing. Yeah. But do you know what age he died at? He was 40.
Oh, wow.
Only one of us in the room.
He did not end well. He was the first. At his peak, he was America's most famous writer. He was the first author ever to earn $1 million. But near the end of his life, he just was an alcoholic. There were numerous accusations of plagiarism, and some of them had substantial proof. And he believes to have been, most people believe he died on an overdose of morphine.
Oh.
So really sad ending. And it colors the quote. That's why I thought about saving it till the end, but I think that quote needs a little balance, because it's easy to get out there and say, don't just exist, live your life. And some people can be critical of straight-laced individuals who are trying to play it safe and not take unnecessary risks. Well, if I don't want to live like that. I want to live my life. I don't want to just breathe. Well, there's something to common sense and taking care of yourself and living more than 40 years. Because I'm pretty sure those last years of addiction were not really living.
Right.
You start out with that attitude, I'm going to really live. I'm going to do everything. And you wind up with a lot of bad habits and addictions.
Yeah. Makes you wonder how old he was when he penned this quote. When he penned this.
I wish I knew that. I'd probably find that out. So
the first part of this passage, saying that the proper function of man is to live, not to exist. I mean, who can argue with that?
Right. I totally agree with that.
Right. That we need to, I'm sure that, you guys like me, sometimes you think, hey, this week was just about survival.
I made it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
days like that.
And those are days that they can be depressing, right? Sometimes, right? When you feel like that you've gone for some extended period of time and that maybe your biggest achievement is just survival, just getting through it. Sometimes life's like that, right? Life has a lot of ebbs and flows, and sometimes, there are, incredibly busy times, or there's difficulties, or there's just mundane things that have to be done. Mm-hmm. And, we have jobs, and sometimes, jobs can require more of us in spurts, right? And hopefully we all figure out how to have a good work-life balance, but sometimes that can get out of whack, and you just feel like I'm just living to work right now, and all those kinds of things get into the difference between existing and living. And so I do think that part of it is an important thing that we need to do to check ourselves to say, am I really living life, or am I just, did I just burn another week? And, what does it mean for me to live life, right? What do I want to go do that's more living than existing? Because you have to figure that out too.
I think real life comes from within instead of without, instead of the things that you're doing and the places that you visit and even the people that you're with, although I think that is a choice that is important in really living. It first has to start within. Christ came so that he could give us abundant life. John 10:10. He came for that reason. So he wants us to have this more than existence. And Jack London mentioned using your time, which made my mind immediately go to Ephesians 5:15. Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Therefore do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is, and do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit. It's what's inside that really makes life worth living. I think that ends on that note. I also want to go back up to where he says, making the best use of the time. Very familiar translation is redeeming the time. The word time there are two words for time in the New Testament. One is chronos, which is like appointments, calendars, clocks, hours, seconds, minutes, that kind of time. And then the other word is kairos. And kairos has to do with the opportune time, when the moment is ripe. The Greeks had a god named Kairos, or some character who was he looked funny. He was bald on the back of his head, and he had long hair in the front. And the idea is, when the opportunity comes, when Kairos comes, if you don't grab him before he gets past you, you'll never be able to grasp him. That's the kind of time that Paul is talking about, and I think that Jack London's talking about. Use your time. When an opportunity comes, don't let it pass. And in doing that and looking for those, looking carefully how you walk, being wise, being filled with the Spirit, you're waiting to seize the moment. And if your energy is coming from within and you're not waiting on something great to happen, or waiting for that time where you can go on that vacation or be with that person, then you can go to work 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and really live, because you're fueled from within with the Spirit, as Paul says.
So I've got a question, just out of curiosity. What if you have trouble finding that joy for life from within? How do you generate and find that internal spiritual joy, that life that you're talking about there? Because I think there's a lot of people in the world who are without that, and that's why they seek joy, distractions, feelings, anything external they can to give them some level of positive sensation is because they can't feel it inside, or they don't feel it inside, or they've forgotten how to feel it inside. So how do we generate that within ourselves? What do we seek? What do we do to find that? And I don't know. I'm throwing that out just because I don't know.
That's a big question. I think most of us that are even paying attention to this are trying to figure that out every day. And I was trying to come up with an answer for you, and every answer just seems trite and cliche and obvious. But I think that's the answer. Read your Bible, pray to God, have faith, go to church, associate with good, healthy, wholesome people of like-minded faith. All these things that we know, but here's what you do. Do not be drunk with wine. I don't think it's just about drunkenness, but it's all those tantalizing things that are promising you, hey, here's an easy fix.
Let me make you feel better. Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then the opposite is be filled with the Spirit. And he goes on to talk about singing, giving thanks, always being grateful, submitting to one another. These are common sense things that don't seem that flashy and all that fun, but that's where the faith comes in. You have to believe that the life God has set for us will fulfill us, that God is enough.
Yeah.
And you have to quit paying attention to all those distractions.
So one thing, as you were talking, I thought of that question, but one thing that comes to mind that, at least in my own life, I have learned just try to find some level, or at least to seek some level of internal happiness, goes along with what you were just saying, is the concept of surrender. So when we're actively seeking things outside of ourselves that bring us joy or make us feel alive, we're trying to be in control. And every time we try to be in control, we will be ultimately left broken and hurt, because there is so much of life that is outside of our control. We can only control what we do in the moment, what we believe, and how we react. That's really the only three things we have any control over. Everything else you face during the day is external, and you can only control how you're going to react to it, what your belief system, your values allow you to do and believe. And surrendering control, learning that there are things that are outside of my ability to change, has helped me find some level of internal peace. I don't know that I have got to the point where I feel a lot of internal joy. I'm working towards that. But at least I have found peace where I'm not ultimately seeking something external to bring me that joy or to bring me that feeling of life. And it's weird that in letting go, you can start to find life. And I think that's something that has really helped me, especially over the last few years, is stop trying to control everything around me. Stop trying to be in control of my own happiness. Because if you're forcing it, you're not finding true happiness. You're finding a temporary fix. And that temporary fix, like all things, are going to fade. But when I can surrender control, when I can understand that, hey, sometimes things are going to be bad, I can only control how I react to them. I can control my value system. I can control my belief in God. I can control my prayer life. I can control maybe who I interact with. Then you start to really find peace and joy. And I think there's some of that in there where he talks about, I'm not wasting my day. He says, I should not waste my day in trying to prolong them. Sometimes we waste our day by trying to seek things that are external that are a total waste.
Not only are they a waste, not only do they fade, as you said, but those quick fixes, those temporary fixes, they seek compensation.
Yeah.
They demand their wages. And when that time comes, that's when the real pain starts.
I love the end of this. Probably my favorite line in this whole thing is, I shall use my time. We're all allotted a certain amount of time. And for the most part, we can control how we use our time. We can control who we associate with, what we read, what we watch, what we see, where we work. And those things, using our time wisely, helps to build us up either internally, or it forces us to seek these external things. And we forget sometimes that we are in control of our time. I love Ecclesiastes. There's a lot of wisdom in Solomon's writing there. I like Ecclesiastes 5, beginning in verse 18, where he says, "Behold, what I have seen to be good and fitting is to eat and drink and find enjoyment in all the toil with which one toils under the sun the few days of his life that God has given him, for that is his lot. Everyone also to whom God has given wealth and possessions and power to enjoy them and to accept his lot and rejoice in his toil, this is the gift of God. For he will not much remember the days of his life, because God keeps him occupied with joy in his heart." And in that is that idea of accepting his lot and rejoicing in his toil. And that's the idea of surrender. That's a full idea of surrendering to God. And what you said earlier, knowing that God has a bigger plan for us, that God ultimately has won, will continue to win, and that if we can align our values and ourselves with him, and we can be true to him and follow in Christ's footsteps, then there's going to be some level of joy from that, despite what's going on externally. But it requires faith. It requires surrendering to a greater power.
Didn't you mention in your list last week, I think, that something about the joy being in the journey, as opposed to the destination? Yes. And I think that's one of the things of really, sometimes when we really think I'm just existing, if we're of the right mindset and we see the blessings along the way, hopefully we can find that joy in everyday life. Because, I mentioned earlier on, like the mundane things, but, the mundane things of life, like being around our family and friends and coworkers and, all kinds of things like that, there can be a lot of joy in all of that, right? I mean, in fact, that is probably where, the greatest joy of our lives is around the people that we love and enjoy being around a great deal, people that we can help, people that we can bless. And if we look at that in the right way, that joy being in the journey, I mean, we may live in a way that someone externally might look and say, well, that's pretty boring, right? But it can be a very joyful life because of the people we're around and the interactions we have. And, that can be a very full existence.
I saw a movie last year by the German director Wim Wenders called Perfect Days. I don't guess y'all have heard of it. It's set in Japan, and it's about this guy that cleans toilets for a living, cleans the public toilets in Tokyo at the parks and things. And the movie's just this guy getting up early, rolling up his mat that he sleeps on the floor of his small apartment, grabbing a can of coffee out of the vending machine, getting his car, putting a cassette tape in, listening to some old music, smile on his face, cleaning toilets all day, going back home, reading a paperback, going to sleep. And, little variations will happen during the day as the people around him are trying to react to this guy and it never comes out and says what it is, but it's talking about what you're saying. This is a guy that doesn't need big things to happen to him. There's some clues that maybe big things had happened to him in the past and did not necessarily work out to happiness. And that he had found happiness in the little things, in the so-called perfect days. It's a movie that is not made for our ADD culture, but if you could slow yourself down to watch it, it's worth watching. It's really good.
Yeah, but it's that idea, right? The joy
idea.
is in the mundane. The joy can be in the journey and just enjoying the blessings of life. Even
if
all
it's cleaning a toilet.
Right. It all has to do with perspective.
Yeah.
Right. And so now I want to flip side it just a little bit, right? Because, there are some things that we all probably need to think about when it comes to, planning and living life, right? Because we don't want to just one side this and say, just enjoy cleaning toilets and there you go. See you next week, right? And so the other side is, if there are things that you dream about doing, if there are things you really want to do, if there's some things you want to do with your family, don't say I'll do it when. Don't say I'll do it when I retire. Don't say I'll do it when, the kids are grown, or don't say, stop and do. Not necessarily all of them. You don't have to do all of them, but if you've got a bucket list, do something on that bucket list every now and then.
It's never going to be convenient.
Right. And so if, there's never going to be enough money for it. There's never going to be the perfect time for it. You're going to have to push some things out of the way to do those things. Just go do them. Enjoy life. And every now and then do a big thing, right? Do something big and interesting and, that'll create special memories, right? Life doesn't always have to be about special memories, but it doesn't always have to be about just every day either. There's some balance there to living life.
Mm-hmm. I will say that the first time I read this quote, when he said, I shall not waste my days in trying to prolong them, I was like, man, that's why I say, when they say, do you want to supersize that? I always say, yes.
Yeah, he'd be a supersizer.
Yeah, I definitely.
No question about it.
Yes, I'll have that Baconator and a large fry.
Yeah.
I will tell you, this is, unfortunately, this thought may bring the room down a little bit or whatever, but when I read that middle sentence, I shall not waste my days in trying to prolong them, I thought about my mom, and I thought about, there are decisions that you have to make along the way, particularly when it comes to, she had cancer. And so she had to make some decisions about these trade-offs. And I know probably a lot of people listening, we all know people who've had to do this and make decisions about that, whether that fits here or not. That's what comes to my mind. Living your life in a way to prolong your life, right? And so she had to decide, am I going to go through a year of treatment in order to try to prolong my life? And this is a very it's a balancing act, and it's very difficult decisions. And I watched her go through it 2 or 3 times, and I found it so, it was interesting and tragic at times, but it taught me a lot about thinking about this. The first time through, she had to do chemo and radiation for a year, and it was horrible. It was 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago now when some of that began. And it was terrible on her body. She was continuing to work. Her bone, her spine was fracturing. She'd strap on a back brace every day and get on a walker and go to work. It was bad. And so during that time, we would have discussions, and she'd say, I'm doing this for a cure, but I'll never do this again. Right. And it's like, hey, Mom, I understand that. We want you to be here. Wish she was still here. Miss her all the time. But I understand somebody saying something like that. And so she went through that year. She fought with everything she had. And we had some good times behind that. And then there was a recurrence. And it's like, well, I guess, we sort of have our answer already. But then you're faced with that, and you're faced with the question of, what will you do to prolong your days? And she wasn't ready to go, right? She's got grandkids growing, and she's got family all around her, and she's got a lot of things that she wants to live for, right? And so it's like, all right, well, we'll try one more time. And then there was another recurrence, and there was a brief period there where she was like, we're trying to be supportive, but at the same time, who's the person to tell their parent, don't try, I mean, and so that journey took me through a lot of things, one of which is never say what you're going to do or not do until you face it, because
that is so true.
Because you will eat some words, and hey, she meant the first time through, she meant that with all of her heart, and she was going through a living hell, and it was terrible. But then later on, she's like, and every time it's like, listen, this is your decision. If you want to fight it again, we'll fight with you. But there's a really, it's very interesting to me, and whether this quote has anything to do with that or not, your decisions about what you'll do to prolong your days is a very interesting question.
It's about that phrase, quality of life.
Right.
And evaluating
and
what's my quality of life?
Sometimes it's about pushing that extra bowl of cobbler away and going to the gym and doing things like, some of it's, there are questions about lifestyle or whatever, for, the way you live your life. But I don't know what he meant necessarily by wasting your days. Probably he meant more of just, I'm going to grab all the gusto, and there's some danger that comes along with that, but I'm going to experience everything, and I'm not going to worry about how long my life's going to be.
It's kind of a carpe diem idea.
Yeah.
Because as smart and talented as Jack London was, there's such a difference in life after 40 than before 40. And we never got to see the Jack London seasoned by the years. Yeah. I wish that we would have, but
I don't know about y'all, but there are days that I go through and it's like, I really didn't use that day.
Oh,
and I don't feel good when that's the case. And to some degree, there's always something else we could have done or whatever. But, I like days that feel like I've done something, or accomplished something. And I think overall that's a good, it's a good goal to, do something today. Right.
It's interesting because, my kids are getting older. I got one that's living in Georgia right now and one that's going to be a junior in high school next year. So getting near the end of his high school time. And it's sad that sometimes in retrospect, you look back and that's when you see, wow, I wasted a lot of days. I love what you said earlier about finding time for experiences. That's if I have to put one major regret in my life, it's not some of the dumb things I've done in life. It's that I did not see some of those moments with my kids because I was distracted with other things. And now that I see them getting older and becoming independent and being away from me, I think, man, how much of my days did I waste just existing, not really living in that moment with my kids? And that's one of the biggest, I guess you could say, call it like the title of the book that we were talking about earlier. One of the biggest burdens I carry on my heart is how much of my kids' lives did I waste focusing on external things. And we're all guilty of that to some extent.
Yeah, there's no way you can soak it all up.
No.
I mean, it's just,
but you can make it more of a priority. And if I could go back and change things, which you can't, so it doesn't even matter to say that. But if I could, there would be a big part of that where I would be making time for when they came up and said, "Hey, Dad, can we do this?" And then me saying, "Nope, I got this going on," or "I'm busy." I would say, "Yeah, let's just go do it."
Yeah. Cats in the Cradle comes to mind here, Jason. One of the most depressing songs ever recorded, especially for a parent. Well, speaking of time, we're out of time. Not that we really have a time for this podcast, but we generally like to keep it at a certain length. I think we're out of time.
And the air's cut off. It's warming up.
The air's cut off. It's getting warm in here. So we're going to wrap it up tonight. We're always grateful for our listeners. Stay with us. There's more to come on Passages.
He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for I knew it, and as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad, you know I'm gonna be like you. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then.
Follow us on Instagram at passages_podcast and join us next time on Passages.
My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said,